Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have another rumor going around regarding Marvel Studios' upcoming X-Men film, and apparently they are going with the MCU 100%, and they are not slowing down. The rumor comes from Bounding Into Comics, where it says Marvel Studios' upcoming X-Men reboot is going to center on female mutants and feature Mr. Sinister as the villain. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, them featuring female mutants is not the problem. The problem is that how they're going to write these female mutants, and the funny fact that they're going to have a male be the villain of this female-centric mutant movie just goes to show exactly where this is all probably going to go. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button, man. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push this out into the YouTube algorithm. So again, I want to reiterate, the female mutants is not the problem, okay? Female characters, female leads have not been the problem. We have had prominent female leads and female characters in the past that people absolutely love, most of which gets adopted now for modern audiences. The problem is that writers of today and writers of tomorrow are nowhere near as damn good as writers of yesterday, because writers of yesterday were more focused on creating a good story and a good character that people actually wanted to read about, characters that people actually wanted to partake in, getting to know, and characters of today are more just self-reflections of the writer of which that's writing it. It's just, they are usually just self-inserts of whatever writer took over the actual character and decided to update it for modern audiences. So it says, in What If True would go down as history as perhaps the most predictable Marvel Studios decision of all time, a new whisper on the street has suggested that X-Men's debut outing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will not focus on any of the titular team's iconic incarnations, but instead tell a story centered on the female mutants above their ranks. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is what they want to push out because they think that this is going to sell. Well, honestly, they probably don't even think this is going to sell, but they know they have to sell it because this is what's going to give them their ESG scores. So it says this latest rumor regarding the cinematic return of Marvel's Merry Band of Mutants was first raised to the public on December 18th, courtesy of a post made by noted scooper Daniel, aka Daniel RPK, Richmond, to his personal Patreon account. Therein, per a recap provided by numerous outlets, including the X-Men Reboot fan Twitter account, Richmond provided 3 new alleged details regarding the X-Men cinematic reboot, including that Mr. Sinister would serve as its main villain, that Magneto will be left out of its cast in an attempt to differentiate the MCU's mutant films from the previous Fox-helmed one, and that the film's plot would focus squarely on the team's female characters. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, you would think that this would not be a big deal, right? Mr. Sinister against the female mutants, whatever, but the fact is, these are characters that are being written by modern writers, and when modern writers get their hands on a full female team like this and get to make an evil white man the villain, you already know where this is gonna go. You already know that this is going to be an identity politics riled mess. And I know that people like Leon from Words of Paradise, he's going to say, well, you don't know that's the fact, so you can't assume. And I get that, you want to be as positive as possible, but I just don't have a lot of faith in their ability to write the female X-Men like they were written in the past. It says, though the scooper did not provide any details as to which specific heroines were currently being considered to bring the fight to the aforementioned mutant geneticists, it's likely that Iman Vellani portrayed Kamala Miss Marvel Khan will be among them, as she is both the MCU's first official mutant and one of its currently favored female characters. Now, okay, we need to stop. We need to stop with this whole Iman Vellani is the favorite female character. She's not a favorite female character, because even though people like her and they like what she says in interviews, her character is not favored. Her character was the worst viewed TV show on Disney Plus. Her movies that she's been in, for the most part, have bombed. So there is no like, oh, she's the female favorite. No, that's not the case, okay? She's not a favorite, because if she was, people will actually be watching her stuff. If you want her to be a favorite, go support the stuff that she's in. Otherwise, you can't say she's a favorite if all her stuff is bombing. It says, notably though, Richmond Scoop has yet to receive any official confirmation. Its information is lent credence by the fact that Marvel Studios has an established habit of subverting audience expectations in order to artificially bolster the franchise's female representation. Such subversions come from the studio in one of two forms, the primary one being the act of gender swapping. Thanks to Marvel's adoption of this practice, a variety of established male Marvel Comics characters like Ghost, Captain Marvel and Taskmaster make their cinematic debuts as the opposite gender, thus denying fans the chance to see the characters they've known for years accurately brought to life in favor of low-effort pandering. I still, to this day, will never forgive them for this atrocity. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, why would you even bother calling this Taskmaster in the first place? And you know what's even more hilarious? Taskmaster was so insulting because they put a female in the suit, right? They put a female and tried to say, oh, this is Taskmaster, but every single bit of Taskmaster's moves, his action scenes, and everything under the sun was performed by a dude in the suit. You couldn't even get a female stunt double. You actually got a man to perform all the action scenes, but then the moment the helmet came off, you put her in it. It's like that. This is so insulting that you want to call this female representation when the female wasn't even acting in the movie 90% of the time. It's like, what the fuck? How is that even fair? Like, it's not. It's clearly not. It says, and while not as common, the second comes in form of ham-fisted, virtue signal heavy story where in one of the franchise's male characters has his character completely shredded and disrespected in favor of boosting the profile of their female successor. From Flag Smasher being heralded as morally superior to the Falcon in The Falcon and Winter Soldier, to Jane Foster proving herself more easily able to wield Thor's hammer himself in Thor Love and Thunder, to the entirety of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, ever since Marvel went full identity politics with Avengers Endgame, forced girl power moment, this subversive writing technique has become one of the studio's main tools in attempting, or more accurately failing, to endear their new characters to long-time audiences. Further, such a subversive treatment of arguably the company's second most profitable franchise, the top spot unsurprisingly belonging to Spider-Man, should come as no surprise in light to its constant thrashing of the team's male-centric name as the hand of Marvel themselves. For example, June 2019 saw the release of the final film in Fox's second X-film series, Dark Phoenix, which features the infamous scene wherein, after bringing up her issues with his willingness to throw mutant life after mutant life into the fray in his service of Dream, Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique tells off Professor Xavier, by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women. Now that scene, I will never forget that scene. It's such a typical Jennifer Lawrence scene, and I am sure, ladies and gentlemen, that Jennifer Lawrence felt so amazing when she said those lines. She's probably been wanting to say those lines so bad since she started working for X-Men, but let's be real. It's very clear that this is where they're going to go. This is the direction that they're going to head in. There is no way in hell the modern Marvel writers are going to write these female characters anything worth the salt. There's no way. They don't have it in them. They don't have the ability to. They itch at the idea of being able to write identity politics in everything that they do. So the moment you tell them they can't do it, they're going to be itching. They're going to be like someone who's on drugs just waiting to get a hit. Please let me put identity politics into this. Please, I need to. I need to write about oppression. I need to write about the patriarchy. Please, just let me do it. They're going to be so desperate to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now that there's no way in hell they're going to pull it off. It says, further speaking to entertainment news outlet Nuke, The Fridge the same month, then Marvel president of physical post-production, VFX, and animation, Victoria Alonso, likewise opined of the team's possible arrival in the MCU. I don't know where the future is going. It's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before it's called X-People or X-Humans or whatever the case, or just the mutants, right? Like, they're going to remove X-Men from the name, and if they do that, people are easily going to be able to tell that this is going to be literal identity politics nonsense. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.